Hi, my name is Kirsten or Kit, and this is my personal finance channel where I talk about how my partner and I went from like $90,000 in debt to paying off that debt and working towards financial independence. And now we have a 15-month-old, and I, for the most part, am a stay-at-home mom. I'm working 2 12s a week, which is not stay-at-home. It's just because I'm training right now in another department. I work at a hospital. Anyways, the topic I wanted to talk about today was just something I've been thinking a lot about being the CFO of your household and also being the stay-at-home mom, which I think traditionally, or in many ways, I think it's still done, that like the breadwinner goes to work and then also manages the finances of the house, like is the one that manages, liabilities and assets and kind of plans where the money goes and what you're going to do with it. But that's not the case here. I actually have taught myself a lot about personal finance since we started in 2022 when we got engaged, and I had like my financial epiphany that like I was going to bring all of this debt and like bad personal loan stuff I was super embarrassed about into the relationship. Got it all cleaned up, went down a Dave Ramsey rabbit hole, like I know a lot of us do, and then lots of like Choosify, and then got on the financial independence wagon, and I'm like the conductor of that beach. Anyways, I am the CFO, so that means I think primarily I keep everything really organized. I do a monthly spreadsheet that tracks our net worth. So I go through all of our assets, our savings accounts, even Brad's like 401k. I will log onto his account and see where it's at that month, which is, highly variable. Not highly, but like it's variable enough. I track, now that we have a home, I track our like appraisal value of the house. We bought it and it was at a certain number, and now that we've done improvements, I add those improvement costs to the value of the home, because I do know that they actually add value to the home, not just like it's objective value adds to the home, like replumbing and stuff like that. It's not like, oh, I painted it green instead of white and that adds value. So yeah, I go through all of the assets that we have, and I know this is kind of controversial, but I also have our cars in there. Like if we were to sell our car for cash value, like if we had an emergency and we needed to sell everything, what is like a low bar, like Kelly Blue Book value for our cars. And then I subtract the liabilities, what we owe on our mortgage, what we owe on my student loans, what we owe on one of the cars, all of that. And then I calculate our net worth. That's something bare bones that I have done for the past just 2 years, now that we've like really put things together. I will say though, when I was 1 year out postpartum, I did not have the bandwidth to be our CFO. I used to be on Every Dollar was my budgeting app, and every day I would allocate the spending to each budget item and make sure that it tracked every dollar every month. I haven't done that in over a year, that's for sure. I did re-download it, but we use our Chase Sapphire card for credit card points, and it's been really awesome. Like we take a free vacation every year, flights, car, hotel, everything. Like we pay for food, and that's literally it. And we really like that. And we don't carry a balance over. So we're gonna keep doing that. Anyways, where was I? So I don't necessarily do the daily tracking, but in order to get a grip on it now, one of the things that I did in the beginning when I first started tracking my personal finances, when I like I said, I had all those personal loans and really bad debt. Beatrice is up, but I think she'll go back down to sleep because it's way too early. I started on just like my Good Notes app. I have a calendar on my iPad, and I track every day how much I spent or how much I earned. And I'm saying I, but I mean as a family. I know talking with the knife makes people nervous, but it makes me feel powerful. I'm gonna pause this and put her down really quick and then come back. All right, I think we're in the clear. So, like I said, I track on this calendar every day. I put what we make and what typically I spend, and it's at Costco and the neighborhood Walmart down the street, because I grocery shop like 2 times a week, 3 times a week if I'm not doing inventory very well. Anyways, so I track our net worth. That's like a minimum that I do, and I really enjoy this on the first of the month. You know, seeing what interest we've made in our high yield savings accounts, and just seeing how much of our debt that we've paid down. And then that net worth number just became positive for the first time. And that is so cool. And then I think lastly, the big part of CFO that I do that's exciting and that like keeps us really cohesive in thought as a family is I plan what we're gonna do with our money. So we're still tracking, because we're working towards that like financial independence number. I project when each of our debts will be paid off. So I know like to the date when our car will be paid off, and Brad's student loans. And I let him know. So he can kind of be rest assured. I cue him in on the plans like he's a stakeholder or like a board member or something like that. And I will present this to him. Not all the time, but it does give him peace of mind that I'm thinking about it. I'm, you know, allocating our money wisely, and I can consult him, you know, if I'm not really sure. But so like, for instance, in a couple months, or we're anticipating a lump sum of money coming in from the sale of our business. And I know exactly where it's all going to go. It's going to pay off a loan primarily. Then it's going to probably put $2,000 in our emergency fund to just give it a little bit more of a buffer. Then we're going to put the rest of it towards our car payment, and we're going to pay our 6-month premium on our car insurance. And that's that. And that's very exciting. Big goals as well are what I do. So we bought this house. We are putting any extra money that we can into renovating it to make it able to be rented out. And so that's our goal within the next 2 years, for somebody else to be paying our mortgage, and then we can move on and kind of do the same thing, so that we can, you know, slowly chip away at, you know, our net worth growing, just becoming more valuable, and then owning assets instead of liabilities. And so if you are a stay-at-home mom, I think it's super important. I feel really empowered and important and valuable making these decisions and having an eye on our assets, on our money. And if you think about it, like, how many women are left behind by their partner, you know, if they pass away or they leave, and they have no ownership and confidence behind their money and what it's doing for them. So I think it's really cool. I think it's cool if you have the ability to do it and want to educate yourself. Then I, by all means, am a super supporter of that. I've been really enjoying it, and as long as I have the bandwidth, I think that's the word I was looking for earlier, for, you know, the money, then I will keep doing it. So I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm making sweet potatoes in the air fryer. It's a weekly meal prep thing for us that's cost effective and delicious. Talk to you later. Bye.